part 2 video of the chapter. So let's begin. There are the diseases which are spread by various means of spread, right? So let's begin with the airborne disease. Airborne diseases we get from air. They are common cold and tuberculosis. Foodborne are food poisoning and typhoid. Waterborne are caused by drinking contaminated water like cholera, amoebiasis, jaundice. Lifestyle diseases, they are heart diseases and diabetes. Vector-borne diseases are malaria, dengue, fever. Sexually transmitted diseases are AIDS and syphilis. So how do infectious diseases spread? So diseases can be spread through the air. This occurs through the little droplets thrown out by the infected person while they sneeze or cough. Someone standing close to that person can breathe in these droplets and the microbes get a chance to start a new infection. So in the COVID-19 coronavirus, the common cold virus, pneumonia and tuberculosis can be spread through these kind of means of spread, that is air. Then comes the water. Through the water, if the excreta of someone who is suffering is there in the water, it can cause infectious gut infection and cholera. They all are cholera microbes can enter the healthy person's body through the contaminated water and can spread to the through the safe supplies of water is very important. Now the sexual act. Through the sexual act, if one person is infected, they can transmit AIDS and syphilis to the healthy person. So it's very important one should take care of themselves. Vectors. We live in an environment which is having variety of vectors. They can transmit various pathogens to the healthy person body. So these animals, they are the intermediaries and they are called as vectors. Common vectors are mosquitoes. Female mosquitoes, they require highly nutritious food so that they can lay eggs. So they try to suck the blood of warm-blooded animals. That's why female mosquitoes feast on warm-blooded animals. But the male mosquitoes, what do they eat then? Male mosquitoes, they suck the nectars of flowers. Organ-specific and tissue-specific manifestation. Where do the disease-causing germs live in our body? Well, there are a number of tissues and organs in our body where these microbes can go. Generally, the entry point decides where they are going to be. Example, any microbes is entering through the nose, they are likely to settle at the lungs. There are different species of microbes which are having different homes. Like they can enter through the air, through the nose, they go to the lungs. An example is tuberculosis. If they enter through the mouth, they can stay in the gut lining, like typhoid causing bacteria. They can go to the liver, like example is hepatitis A and B, and they can cause jaundice. An infection like HIV can come into the body through the sexual spread also, and they can act on the lymph nodes, and hence they can reduce the number of lymphocytes or white blood cells. Malaria causing microbes enters through the mosquito bite, and they can enter to the liver, and then they can go to the red blood cells. Viruses like Japanese encephalitis, they can affect your brain. Now, what is inflammation? Inflammation means when our body has an immune system in which it creates the cells that can fight against the disease-causing germs. This process of recruiting cells to this infectious agent they're present in our body is called inflammation. The inflammation process shows different effects of our body, such as fever or swelling. So, when you are having inflammation in your wound area, that means your body is fighting with the infection. You may develop fever and swelling at that part. Now, tissue specificity of an infection leads to the very general and seeming effect. For example, HIV infection, the virus goes to the immune system and damages its function. Thus, many of the effects of HIV virus AIDS, they are because the body can no longer fight with any minor infection. they become major. A common cold will become pneumonia. A minor gut infection may become diarrhea with the blood loss. So that's why AIDS is a syndrome. That means a group of symptoms. Severity of disease manifestation depends upon the number of microbes. That means if the small number of microbes are there, the disease manifestation may be minor or unnoticed. But if the microbes are large in number, the disease can be severe enough or can be life-threatening. The sign and symptoms of a disease will thus depend on the tissues or the organs which the microbes targets. If the lungs are the target, the symptoms are going to be cough and breathlessness. If the liver is the target, then there would be jaundice. If the brain is the target, then you're going to have headache, vomiting, fits, and unconsciousness. We can imagine that what the symptoms and sign of an infection will be if we know the target tissue or the organ, and hence that function is going to be affected. Principles of treatment. We may treat infectious diseases by two ways. Number one, by killing the infectious agent. Number two, by reducing the effect of disease or by reducing the symptoms. We can reduce the symptoms by taking the rest, by conserving our energy. By taking medicines, we can reduce the common symptoms like fever, pain. We can kill the infectious agent by taking up the antibiotics or antiviral medicines. The principles of prevention. Well, are there any limitations of treating infectious diseases through medicines? Yes, there are three limitations, but number one, our body functions might not be able to recover easily. Number two, this treatment takes a long time and it can affect our daily activities. Number three, an infectious diseases may transfer from a person who is suffering the disease to the another in the meanwhile of the treatment. Therefore, we should find out ways to prevent these diseases in the first place. There are two ways to prevent diseases. Number one, the preventing exposures to these infectious agents. Waterborne diseases can be prevented by taking the safe and pure drinking water. Airborne diseases can be prevented by avoiding crowded places or keeping your mask on or keeping your environment clean. Vector-borne diseases can be prevented by keeping our surrounding clean and maintaining the public hygiene. Second, strengthening the immune system. That means you all should have a proper, healthy, nutritious diet. What is the immune system? The immune system is a network of the cell, tissues, and organs that work together in order to protect our body from diseases. They are acting as a defense system of our body. They look out and they destroy the pathogens which enters our body. These cells are white blood cells. These white blood cells, they are present in the blood. They attack on the germ cells. Now the germs in any foreign body which enters our body, they are called as antigens. These immune systems, they attack and they recognize the antigens. They releases the antibodies, which are proteinaceous or the protein structures, which locks the antigens and destroy them. So what is immunity? The ability of the body to resist any disease with the help of generating antibodies are called as immunity. A specific method to strengthen the immune system. Well, it's vaccination. A specific method is vaccination. Whenever our body is affected by a disease, our immune system not only fights against it, it knows that it remembers it forever. It makes memory cells. So vaccines क्या होती हैं? Vaccines, they contain an agent. They contain a weak pathogen or dead pathogens. They enter the body and they learn to fight against the pathogen. So it prevents the next infection also. Vaccines are also available for many diseases like polio, chickenpox, measles. Discovery of first vaccine is very unique. Edward Jenner, he realized that milkmaids, they had only cowpox. They did not catch the smallpox. It was an endemic at that time. So cowpox is a very mild disease. Jenner tried and he gave cowpox infected person to the, you can see that. So the cowpox people, they are resistant to the smallpox disease. So smallpox virus is very closely related to the cowpox. Cow means vaxa in Latin and cowpox is the vaccinia. So that's why the vaccination words came. So what is principle of immunization? When immune system first sees an infectious microbe, it responds against it and then remembers it specifically. So the next time that particular microbes or the close relative of the microbes enter the body, the immune system responds vigorously. This eliminates the infection even more quickly than the first round. This is the basis of immunization, principles of immunization. Vaccines are there for many infectious diseases like tetanus, diphtheria, whooping cough, measles, polio. And through the public health program, we are able to immunize every child of India or in the world. These are the various diseases which can be cured, and malaria is caused by plasmodium, by the bite of female anopheles. Anopheles we need to kill, so that's why we have to eliminate the infection. So keep your surrounding clean. Diarrhea by bacteria, protozoan, or viruses through the contaminated water. We should make sure we should drink proper water. Cholera, Vibrio cholerae, contaminated water. Typhoid, salmonella, typhi, contaminated water and food. Tuberculosis, mycobacterium tuberculosis. So student, this whole paragraph is very important. Do go through it. Well, some hepatitis is also there in the water. In India, the children below 5, they also get immune because they're drinking contaminated water for these many years. That's why many of the Indian people, they are immune to many diseases. I hope you have liked my videos. Till then, take care, keep learning, do subscribe, share my channel for more learning. Bye bye.